at the building on the right hand side, that is George Heriot School, the inspiration for Hogwarts, School for Magic and Wizardry. It was an orphanage to start with in the 17th century, and it's now a proper school. Sorry to disappoint you, they don't teach you any magic and wizardry there. Okay, our next stop coming up will be stop number 10 for the castle. We do have ticket sellers available for the military tattoo. 3 months it takes to build up the stand, 1 month to break it down again. Every year since 1950. Stop for the castle, and climbing is prohibited, please don't go there. But this is one of the stops if you have parked your car here, the parking area, it's on your left. And up, look down please just now, and you see that was the exact hanging location. Also paying tribute to the Covenanters, or strict Protestant, were hanged for their very disagreement. So remember that please, yeah. We won't go past the Harry Potter house, the Elephant House it's known as. It's a cafe where J.K. Rowling, when she wrote her stories. Candlemaker Row. Candlemakers had their premises here, the open ovens they use with bakers and potters. It was Mary Queen of Scots, she liked her bathing only twice a year, preferably in wine. Very romantic name, Sylvander. Sylvander and Clarinda sounds very important. Stop number 5, coming up, Canongate Church. Anyone wanting off? Now look on top of the Dutch gable, and you see between the stag's antlers the Holy Rood, the Holy Cross. Anyone wanting off? Please press the bell or give me a wave. No one?
Also in a lot of your tour guides. Fantastic view there of the castle sat up on the rock at the top. And also some great views down there into Princess Street on the right hand side. This is West Princess Street Gardens. Absolutely beautiful this time of the year. Excuse me. So the castle you can see just coming through the trees here now. Start of the second phase of the new town, and these buildings would have started to appear around about 1820. But one thing you will notice is that the second phase of the new town is very, very short here at the moment. And a reason for that, just as we pull up to the garden. On the north side, and we'll get to see it closely as we turn the corner here to the bus stop, is another one of my top 5 attractions here in the city, which is the Georgian House. Now, when these houses came up for sale in 1796, one of the first families to move onto the square was the Lamont family. Now, they were extremely wealthy landowners from the north of Scotland, and you would have had to have been wealthy in order to buy a property in this area of town. Now, their house was the fourth, the scientist and inventor who created the telephone. Now, although there is some conjecture as to whether he was the first to invent a telephone, is still out with the jury. Ground level, you'll see this quite prominent blue door there, which is number 14 south. And this is because it's the venue for the International Book Festival here in Edinburgh, where we get authors from all over the world coming to talk about their literary works. Now, people who've been on the bus since the beginning of the tour, this is the second of our John Steele statues. The first one we saw was of Copenhagen with the Iron Duke on it, Wellington. You will also notice that George is wearing a skirt of forms. If you just clock that high up on his thigh there as we go around the corner, and that story continues a bit later on. Now, this first phase of the new town itself is built on what's known as a grid system. So we have 3 grand avenues, and at the moment we're in the central Grand Avenue, which is running from east to west. And then we have Princess Street and Queen Street flanking on right and left side. These are also dissected by 6. Now, we're just turning into the new town. As I mentioned at the beginning of the tour, this was purely residential from 1767 right the way through until the 1820s, when the banks first appeared on George Street. Excuse me. Unlike the metropolis, it's here that the General Assembly takes place. It's also the Theologians' College, where they come to study their religion. So we actually had Princess Anne here a couple of weeks back because she was the Queen's representative in Scotland as the Lord High Commissioner. Now, just here on the right-hand side, 2 buildings, both by William Henry Playfair. Now, this one at the back is the Scottish National Gallery, and the one at front is the Royal Scottish Academy. Now, you will notice the one at the front is actually very, very ornate, and the one here at the back is actually very, very plain. Now, the reason for this is the change in style of architecture in just a period of 30 years, from this almost over-the-top decoration to something that is very, very bland and plain.
How late do you stay open?
So it really depends on the time of the year.
Yeah.
So it varies very much, but at the moment it's till 6 o'clock. But in July and August it can be anything up to 11.
Oh, okay.
PM,
So
yeah.
high season or something.
Yeah.
I just went to the museum. I got there at 10 till 5. So they closed in 10 minutes. So that's what I get, yeah.
I think they open 10 in the morning. And,
Yeah, I'll be long gone by 10.
Yeah.
Last time I had one of these was in Paris.
All right. Was it nice?
So it was nice.
Yeah. Would you like me? I can add also some raspberries to it. It's really nice. If you have banana,
Sure, whatever.
sugar,
Yeah,
cinnamon,
sure.
and raspberries,
Yeah.
it's really, really
A little extra flavor is fine.
Yeah.
It's like a good location.
It's good, yeah. It's close to the university. It's right at the entrance of the meadows, the
And
park.
Constant
Yeah, you have
traffic.
You have the city there, heavily urbanized.
Yeah.
You have trees and grass and birds, and even bumblebees nesting in the garden. Oh, it's just a wonderful.
Do you have a chair? No, you don't sit, do you?
Yeah.
You don't
I don't sit. I stay on my feet for 14 hours easily.
Good
Just
Lord.
because you get used to, you know. I've been doing this for 7 years. So. But sometimes I just have a break. Go at the back. There's a garden at the back.
Yeah.
So just sit down on one of the benches.
Okay. This is enough for a meal.
Yeah, I guess it's lots of
I'll
fruits.
treat it as a treat and
Yeah.
might work for a meal later.